demands a release of 3 detained staff. And finally, APC holds a NEC meeting today. Instructive to see that finally.
Yeah.
Finally, APC holds a NEC meeting today, and Oyo Assembly okays issuance of bond to finance remodeling of Agbowo shopping complex. Oyo Assembly okays issuance of bond to finance remodeling of Agbowo shopping complex, and beside that, you have the picture of the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, the National Chairman of the APC, Abdullah Ganduje, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and the President himself, Paul Tinubu, during the APC caucus meeting held at the State House in Abuja on Tuesday. All right, and just above that, you have the picture having Peter Ekinga, Managing Director, CEO of and Emmanuel Norum, Chairman, and Atinuke Kolade, Company Secretary at the Transcorp Power PLC, meeting there. And away from that, top strip, Senate probes Natasha's conduct, may suspend her. Senate probes Natasha's conduct, may suspend her. And with a rider as she sues Akpabio aid for 100 billion naira over alleged defamation. No, one incident that has transformed into the other, because the suit for him is about what she said is defamatory in nature. The post by Mr. Akpabio's aide, on behalf of Akpabio, derogating her and all of those things. So she has sued for 100 billion Nigerian naira. All right, but then she's under probe as well at the Senate for her conduct
and
during the
she's suing.
Move. I'm not moving. Change your seat. I'm not changing my seat. And I have not been informed. I wasn't properly briefed and all of those things. But then I'm sure she should, if there is a probe about somebody, then I'm sure that person should be invited as well to come and say or tell how of the story. Whatever the House rule says, that's what they will do. Now, MBS, Nigeria's GDP, driven by services sector, grew by 3.84% in Q4 2024. Nigeria Bureau of Statistics has this to say that Nigeria's GDP, driven by services sector, has grown by 3.84% in Q4 of 2024. Q4 is from October to December of last year. So there is something to cheer about. That sounds nice. We hope it translates to prosperity and wealth and betterment of life of the Nigerian people and residents as well. And OSEC chairman takes IGP or CP to court. OSEC chairman takes IGP or Commissioner of Police to court. You know what happened at the weekend when the OSEC, through their chairman, says they were locked out.
And some of their members were arrested.
Disrupted the operations and all of those things. They had to move, the other processes of the election. That's the collation and announcement to another venue, in this case the government house, because their office, was shot by the police. Now, court sentences Ekiti teachers to 44 years imprisonment for defiling teenage students.
Okay.
Ekiti teachers, that means they are more than one.
Right.
Was it done separately? Was it done, together?
Together.
Either way, it's, when we say maybe serves them right, and whatever forgiveness they seek, whatever, the thing has happened, they will have enough time to reflect and be sober, in as much the justice has taken its place. And this is not blaming anybody, but then defiling, as a minor or an adult, is terrible.
It is
and it's
terrible.
More terrible with a minor.
With a minor, of course. I saw a story on the public space some days ago, and the guy allegedly defiled a 3-year-old, and he didn't even know she was a 3. He was even saying she was 5. But the parents have
5
come out to say,
and
yes,
3.
what's the difference? The parents have come out to say that that's a 3-year-old child. And I don't know, like, what do you think of looking at a child?
How
now,
does a
they
5-year-old appeal to you sexually?
Really, they will say some girls dress indecently. That notwithstanding. So how is a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old dressing indecently to attract
whatever
such?
has made him to do that, he will have his time in court, and he will have his time at the correctional
He was
center.
really lucky. He was nearly mobbed.
Yeah, but then if it's in some state, if he have been found to have defiled a minor, it's as good as life imprisonment. In some state, that's just the way it is. It's something that should not be heard of at all. It's wicked, not just as
very
criminal.
wicked.
It is wicked because whatever
the pain that child
some persons used to
through.
give that predisposes some women or ladies to this defilement and rape and all of those things. None of those things, can go
equate with
in a minor.
Yeah,
what exactly? What? Somebody that everybody should look out for, and that's why everybody should be everybody's keeper.
Yeah.
Actually, when you say something untoward was going on between a minor and an adult, the thing sometimes people want to mind their business and say, so by somebody who will not accuse me and all of those things. It's better you are wrong, but be sure as well. It's not sensible to raise unnecessary alarm and embarrass people, especially when you don't have your fact. But if you know something is going on, and it's quite bad, it's better you intervene and you get clarity or raise alarm when need be. Everybody should just be everybody's keeper at this time. But be sure so that it won't be a false alarm, which is criminal in nature as well. That will be all from the Nigerian Tribune.
And straight to the Daily Trust, we have food prices drop ahead Ramadan. Okay. Food prices drop ahead Ramadan, and we have the riders there. Maize now 47,000 naira for 100 kg. Rice 70,000 naira for 50 kg. Okay. Traders cite naira gain, importation, others. Imports not a good development. Imports not a good development. Farmers, to an extent, I might agree. Import not a good development because importation, the cost of importing and clearing goods and everything somehow is being added to the cost of buying and selling. So if we're able to produce ours here, we're able to farm and get the foods, I think it will be lower and cheaper for us. So I think I agree with the farmer saying import not a good development, but it still boils down, or it narrows down to the fact that we now have less farmers than before. It's more like the farming scheme is majorly done in the northern region, because most of our people are basically say, especially in my, I'll talk about my area where I know very well. We're not now more of the white collar job people. Most persons just keep their farms at home, probably pay laborers or give it to some persons to just be looking after it if they come back. So it's, I think we talked to someone sometime about that, saying some persons should have little farms in their homes. But I was talking about it, saying those living in rented apartments, you can't actually do that. It's usually easier or feasible when you have your own apartment. You can have a little farm by your side, or a small farm that you could plant little things.
For people living in a rented apartment, sometimes you're lucky. You have a spacious place, so maybe, just maybe, you're the one having the apartment to yourself, or it's not quite a rowdy place and you have some land unused. Everybody can try
and you're not living in a skyscraper.
Well.
Okay, that's a good one. We actually want to see the effect, actually. It's not just about the tags now. Okay, we have Nigeria's GDP grew by 3.40%, 3.4% in 2024. NBS. Nigeria's GDP grew by 3.4% in 2024. NBS. We have federal government demands probe as Nigerian footballer dies in Uganda. That's a sad one. Really sad one. Okay. We hope the federal government pushes for it very well.
Yeah.
We really need to know what happened. We have also Natasha sues Akpabio for defamation, demands 100 billion naira damage. Natasha sues Akpabio for defamation, demands 100 billion naira damages. Bayelsa varsity student drowns in swimming bet. Okay, this is another one. I mean, if you've actually been to Bayelsa, you know that that place is a waterlogged area. You know, during the time my sisters went there for the post-UME, right, the university there, they saw a lead. You just see water and then grasses, and you feel like, okay, it's just a waterlogged area. And a lady told them, please, that is part of the sea. That you just step your feet in, you're gone.
You're gone, yeah.
Now you can't swim. You're trying to swim that kind of mass body of water. Like, what kind of bet is that? Sometimes we just look at danger and we walk right into it.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, in Nigeria, we have been found to be very reckless. You know?
Right.
And sometimes, again, you will feel somebody from that area knows the terrain, he or she can swim,
Yeah.
but maybe doesn't know that he or she doesn't have that capacity. We don't really know what happened.
Yeah, we don't really know what happened, but
for
adding
somebody
a
that
bet
feels
to it.
he or she can swim, definitely that will not be the first time of swimming. But something happened at the end of the day, which he or she, we don't know, maybe it's a he or a she now, bargain for. Possibly he or she let's just stick to he, at least for generalization. Maybe he got tired on the way or was caught up in something. You know, people do all those kind of a thing without the life jacket thing. You know, I think being that you have the life jacket on and you want to swim and you got tired, at least by the time you are flapping and you're struggling, you still have something to hang on to, and your body will still be there and not drowning. And it's a sad situation.
It is a sad situation.
Naturally,
because
most persons
the
from
family,
that side, you assume that they have some knowledge of swimming, because that's their terrain.
Yeah.
That's where they are born. Most of them grew on that place. In fact, there are some that have never left that territory before.
Sure.
That's all they know.
How to do. It's really a sad one. It's just thinking about the family and how they are reacting or how they are taking this particular. Yeah, because of a bet. We really need to do better. We really need to think about things before we actually go into it. There are things that are reckless. It's really reckless. It's not something to think about. It's not a swimming pool. Swimming pool is better. Now we have APC National Caucus meets ahead neck. Okay, APC National Caucus meets ahead neck. Okay. You have card reader almost set Nigeria ablaze in 2015, Jonathan. Card reader almost set Nigeria ablaze in 2015, Jonathan. And the last story there on the Daily Trust, we have 13 killed in Yobe, Sokoto auto crashes. That's another sad story. 13 killed in Yobe, Sokoto auto crashes. That'll be all on the Daily Trust this morning.
We'll move to The Guardian. The Guardian for today, Jonathan Jega, carpet politicians, judiciary, INEC, over flawed elections. Jonathan Jega, carpet politicians, judiciary, INEC, over flawed elections. And you have in the picture below that, the governor of Osun State, former governor of Osun State rather, Bisi Akonde, Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, the House of Reps, Speaker Tajudeen Abbas, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, Vice President Kashim Shettima, the President Bola Tinubu, APC National Chairman Umar Ganduje, the party's National Secretary Ajibola Bashir, and many others at the APC caucus meeting yesterday in Abuja. Besides that, Natasha sues Akpabio, 100.3 billion naira for alleged defamation as Senate considers punishment. All right. And below that, Belgium fears losing 40% petrol export to Nigeria as Tinubu woos investors. Belgium fears losing 40% petrol export to Nigeria as Tinubu was investors. All right. And this is the type of, walking the talk and, walking big.
Right.
We're expecting, it's not because we want just to be a rival, but we want to work tall in the committee of nations.
Yeah.
Now, court remands Lagos Assembly workers for alleged assault on DSS officers. An IBB revelation, Igbo group demands 100 trillion naira compensation for Indigo. 100 trillion naira from, as compensation for Indigo. Interesting there. And non-oil sector pushes GDP up by 3.84% in Q4. EFCC arraigned 16 Chinese for alleged cyber terrorism, internet fraud in Lagos. And Tinubu case, 1 trillion naira financing for state to strengthen PHCs. Tinubu case, 1 trillion naira financing for state to strengthen public health centers. And it's a good one there, but we hope, because now that the money is being allocated and it will go through the state, we hope there will be proper monitoring.
Yeah.
So that it don't end up the palliative way, the sharing of food way.
Right.
In which I'm not sure anybody can point at any 10 persons to say these are the people that collected this stuff in a very efficient way. It's another thing that we all have to be very, very, have our eyes open. And the federal government should go through it and have it monitored. 1 trillion naira. That's a lot of money. That will be all from The Guardian for today.
Straight to the punch, we have why INEC vote count can't be accurate, says Jonathan. Why INEC vote count can't be accurate, says Jonathan. And the writer that we have, ex-president decries ghost voters, regional influences seeks electoral reforms. Okay. And we have a picture there. We have non-executive director, Transcorp Power PLC, and the managing director, chief executive officer, Transcorp Power PLC, and chairman, Transcorp Power PLC. This was at the general meeting held at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja on Tuesday. And we have Obasa awaiting ruling before returning to assembly, lawyer. Okay. Senate backs Akpabio as Natasha files 100.3 billion naira defamation suit. Senate backs Akpabio as Natasha files 100.3 billion naira defamation suit. APC dismisses anti-Ganduje plot as El-Rufai absent from NEC meeting. APC dismisses anti-Ganduje plot as El-Rufai absent from NEC meeting. Top strip there we have Nigeria's